If you keep living the way you are now, where will you be in 5 years? That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to wake you up. Maybe you're questioning your path. Maybe you're craving more purpose, more peace, or a complete reinvention. And you're not alone. Your second act can be your best one. Whether you want to retire early, shift careers, or finally start living on your terms. Let's talk about how to stop settling, start choosing, and designing a life that feels like you. Here are a few questions you should ask yourself to set up the next chapter to be amazing. So, the first question, where will you be in 5 years from now? Still in a job you hate? Still feeling burned out? Still putting yourself last? That question isn't just about career or retirement. It's about the trajectory of your life, your habits, your choices, the way you speak to yourself each day. They're all shaping your future. So ask yourself, are these habits leading me towards the life I want? Are my choices aligned with who I want to become? If the answer is no, then something needs to shift. And guess what? It doesn't have to be a giant leap. A massive change often starts with one single decision. So the second question, what are you avoiding? We all avoid things. We avoid our finances because they feel overwhelming. We avoid our health because we're afraid of what we'll find. We avoid change because it feels uncomfortable, even when we're unhappy. But growth doesn't begin when things are perfect. Growth begins when we face what we've been avoiding. That conversation, that doctor's appointment, that budgeting spreadsheet, the dream that's been sitting on a shelf for decades. The moment you stop running and face it head on, you reclaim your power. So, another question, if fear wasn't in the way, what would you do differently? What would you pursue? What would you stop tolerating? What would you finally give yourself permission to try? Fear is real. I'm not here to pretend that it's not. But courage isn't the absence of fear. It's choosing to move forward in spite of it. You can be scared and still show up. You can be uncertain and still take a step. Every woman you admired started by doing one thing, deciding fear would not be the boss. So, what would your life look like if fear wasn't calling the shots? Another question you should ask yourself is, what do you need to let go of? What are you still carrying that's keeping you small? Maybe it's a toxic job, a draining relationship, or old beliefs about what women your age should or shouldn't do. The truth? You can't create a new future while clinging to what's already expired. Letting go isn't failure, it's freedom. When you raise your standards for your time, your energy, and your relationships, your life rises with them. So ask yourself today, what am I no longer available for? And then what am I ready to claim instead? Next, what will your future self thank you for? Take a moment and picture yourself 5 years from now. What does she look like? What kind of energy does she carry? What's she doing with her time? How does she feel when she wakes up in the morning? Now ask yourself, what would she thank you for doing today? Would she thank you for finally getting serious about your health? Not in a dramatic crash diet kind of way, but in a sustainable, nurturing, life-giving way. Would she thank you for setting boundaries with people who drain your energy? Would she thank you for walking away from a job that's burning you out and choosing a new path that lights you up, even if it doesn't come with a perfect plan? Or maybe she'd thank you for something simpler, like slowing down, resting, listening to your gut, trusting yourself again. Because here's what I've learned: success isn't built in big dramatic leaps. It's built in the small, quiet decisions we make every single day. Choosing a nourishing meal over stress snacking, or saying no to something that doesn't align with us, even if you feel guilty at first. Filling out the application, starting the online course, making the call, writing the first page of your story. These are things that don't look impressive in the moment, but over time, they change your life. Your future self doesn't need you to be perfect. She just needs you to be brave today, to do the thing you've been avoiding. So take the step even if you're scared. Stop waiting until everything is ready, because it will never be. There's no perfect moment. There is only this one. And you can use it to start becoming the version of yourself you've always wanted to be. You may be one decision away from a completely different life. Not a perfect life, not a life without fear or obstacles or bumps in the road, but a life that feels more true, more you. And that decision, it's probably been whispering to you for a while now. Maybe it's the decision to walk away from a job that leaves you feeling depleted. Maybe it's the decision to finally downsize, simplify, and create space to breathe. Maybe it's to retire early, not because you're done working, but because you're ready to start living your way. We think transformation has to be this big, dramatic thing, but that's not how change works. Change often begins with one decision and the courage to say, I'm not doing it like this anymore. What's really stopping you? Most of the time, it's not time or money. It's the fear of the unknown. It's comfort disguised as stability. But comfort zones are rarely comfortable. They're just familiar. And familiarity can become a trap if you stay too long. So how are you going to avoid what you are capable of doing just to stay in what feels comfortable? You've lived long enough to know what settling feels like. But have you lived long enough to say, I'm done settling? You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to have the right next step. One email, one phone call, one boundary. You might be one step away from peace, one pivot away from purpose, or one decision away from a future that makes you feel proud. You don't have to change everything overnight. You just have to start, because no one is coming to hand you the life that you want. You have to claim it. Share in the comments below, what's one thing your future self will thank you for doing today? Thank you so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button.